The homestanding Paintsville Tigers win the toss, elect to receive to start this football game. Kent Phelps and Luke Trimble back deep for the Tigers. Kenton Hall to kick it away for Pikeville. Both teams 2-0. Somebody's going to leave with a win and someone with a loss tonight. And we're underway here at Memorial Field. Bounces off one of the up men, and he falls on it at about the 34-yard line, and that is where Paintsville will start this game. Let's take a look at what the Tigers have done so far this season, Jim. We mentioned their 2-0 record, and both wins have come pretty handily.
Both of these teams have played tremendous early in the season, and you see here we pop up. It's pretty much a mirror image for both teams. Yep. Pikeville crushes Prestonsburg and Letcher Central. Of course, Paintsville's done pretty much the same thing last week to Frankfort, and then, of course, in their opener against Sheldon Clark.
On 1st and 10, they hand it off. This is Kent Phelps, picks up about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6. Let's go back to Paintsville's first 2 games of the season. And they have come in runaway fashion, a 46-12 victory over Sheldon Clark and a 43-0 win over Frankfort.
Oh, I tell you, Tanner, this is a tremendous atmosphere for a high school football game here at Memorial Field in Paintsville, the same field that a lot of the legends have played on from both of these schools.
Cash Daniel going to keep it himself this time, puts his head down and is tripped up near the 1st down marker. Looks to be about a half-yard short. It'll be 3rd and short for the Tigers. This is a Paintsville team that loves to run the football, Jim. 86% of the Tigers' yardage so far this season has come via the run, like you see here.
Well, you got to approve this on the Deskins Motors instant replay. One man tries to bring him down, and Cash just bowls him over. It's going to take a number of white shirts to bring the big quarterback down as he leans forward and gets the first down of this football game.
On 3rd and short, a handoff straight up the middle. Alex Spencer looks like he got the necessary yardage to move the sticks. Actually, they gave him a 1st down on the previous play, so that was 1st down, and now it's 2nd down.
Tell you, you're just going to see here where Paintsville tries to keep the ball pretty much between the tackles and keep that vaunted Pikeville offense off the field. Great offensive lines on both of these schools. We'll try to take a long look at that during the course of this telecast.
Daniel in the shotgun on 2nd and 9. Takes the handoff. They run the little option. He pitches it back out to Spencer. And there is nowhere for him to go. A great job by that Pikeville linebacking core of rotating over and making the stop. There is a flag on the play.
Official Keith Henry, he'll give us the signal here.
Was thrown in the area of holding. And they're going to march it off against Pikeville. It's a personal foul.
Personal foul face mask. As you see Keith give us the signal there, that'll be the 2nd 1st down. And Tanner, I thought that early in this game would be critical for Paintsville to get this huge crowd behind them and keep them in the game as the progression goes. And I tell you, Paintsville just so fired up before this game, led by number 15 there, Daniel.
Tigers in Pikeville territory on the 1st drive of the game. Here's the pitch to Phelps, trying to turn the corner. He's tripped up after a gain of 3 yards. Kent Phelps, the 6-foot, 175-pound junior. A lot of people consider him to be one of the better, most underrated running backs in the state of Kentucky, and you see why here. Watch how quick he gets to the corner.
Exactly, Tanner, and gets some good blocks out there, but the white shirts do string the play out, and they hold Phelps down, both of the number 1s, as Jalen Jarrell and Kent Phelps are going to touch the ball, make some big plays this evening.
They gave him 4, so it's now 2nd and 6. Daniel handing off to Phelps, hit near the line of scrimmage, scrapes out a yard, maybe 2. How about that battle there at the line of scrimmage on that play? Talk about this Paintsville offensive line versus that vaunted defensive line for the Panthers.
And you see there the helmet pops off of Coleman, so he'll have to come to the side for one play, and that is a tough break for Pikeville here in this opening drive because they want Logan Coleman, the big senior starter, played offense and defensive line, 4-year starter for Coach Chris McNamee and the Panthers. So he'll have to be replaced. New rule in Kentucky high school football. Actually, a couple years old. I think it's a good rule, Tanner.
It's 3rd and 5. Opening drive of this football game. And Daniel keeps it himself, and he is lassoed to the ground about a yard short of the first down. It'll be 4th and 1.
You saw the tap on the helmet there. A little Floyd County flavor to those two young men. You're going to see big number 61 here, Tanner Roop. And Roop fights off the block and makes the stop there of Daniel. Both those guys with family in the Betsy Lane community, so maybe 10 years ago, that was a play on the Sandlots, and Roop makes a big play to set up a 4th down now. Coleman back in the lineup. You see 59 there. Roop comes off after making a big play.
Empty backfield for Daniel here on 4th and 1. A whistle comes in, and Paintsville wants a timeout. 8th play of the drive coming up, a 4th and 1 as the Tigers have driven to the 32-yard line of Pikeville.
Just got to tip your hat, Tanner, to both of these schools. Pretty much mirror images. I tell you, both of the teams have played great. We talk about their offense, but defensively, both of these teams have been playing tremendous. Pikeville has been allowing only some 50 yards rushing this year. So Paintsville certainly putting that to the test here early. The humidity got to be a factor. I like the way both coaches have tried to develop depth over the last couple of years. You certainly need that. But just couldn't get over how fired up Paintsville was for a regular season game, Tanner. Don't know how many times you see the team out there. You see the fans. Welcome to the madness here at Paintsville. But don't know how many times you see a team out an hour and a half before kickoff in full pads, fired up and going through pregame.
Empty set for Daniel. He's going to bulldoze his way straight up the middle, and he picks up the first down. It looks like, anyway, with the spot, he has enough for the first down, and what looked like the toughest yard maybe he's had to pick up all season.
See why a lot of folks are pretty high on Daniel, because let's take a look here. Their Deskins Motors instant replay. Big hit there, but Daniel holds on to the football. A lot of guys with lesser strength, that ball might have popped out. You see a lot of white shirts coming there, but just got to tip your hat to number 15, Cash Daniel. Scott and Leela's baby boy.
That's right. That's a pretty big luxury to be able, when you need a yard, just to line him up by himself and have him bulldoze through the line like that. And he'll fake it and then to Phelps and keep it himself. Fighting for first down yardage, has at least 9, maybe 10 yards on the first down carry.
Great blocking point of attack. You see the captain there, Cash Daniel, leading his Paintsville Tigers. Take a look here on the Deskins Motors instant replay, Tanner, where you are approved. A big hole off to the left. Great block there by 75, Jonathan Lemaster, 6'1", 265. Clears the hole for Daniel and close to the first down. Did he get it?
Whoever was operating the down signal on the sideline flipped it over to first down, but I think now they're saying maybe he was just shy and it'll be 2nd and short, and that is the call.
Of course, nothing wrong with the officials going a little slow here early while this humidity and heat is around, Tanner. We'll be taking water breaks at our television timeouts.
Referee Keith Henry, umpire Kenny Clark, linesman Marvin Montgomery, line judge Steve Shelton, and back judge Derek Newsom, our officiating crew for this evening. 2nd and short. Phelps, the carry, has the first down. He's looking for more. Phelps near the goal line, brought down inside the 5-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal for the Tigers.
Oh, great blocking point of attack. You see those big boys up front, and look at this hole off the left side. That appears to be where Paintsville is going to go to, and that's a strength. He's quickly into the second level as Phelps, and hustling play brings him down. The students are fired up. Welcome to the madness.
12th play of the drive for Paintsville. All runs. Daniel throwing, caught, touchdown Tigers. Completes it to Darren Morris, the junior. His first touchdown of the season, and Paintsville draws first blood here in this big rivalry matchup.
You run it, you run it, you run it, and maybe you forget about the wideout out there. Darren Morris, 6'1", 170, off the play fake. Daniel has a big arm. He finds him, and Pikeville unable to get the stops here early as Paintsville just chews up 5 minutes and change on the clock, gets an opening touchdown.
Brent Bartley the junior, on for the extra point, trying to punctuate this opening drive. And how about this start for Paintsville? 7-0. Cash Daniel has his second touchdown passing of the season. And it gets us to a break here in the Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week on this TV and WYMT.com. A 12-play drive that spans 66 yards and ends in a 3-yard touchdown pass from Cash Daniel to Darren Morris. Extra point good by Brett Bartley. 7-0 Paintsville. Pikeville about to get the ball for the first time in this game, and Bartley, who just drilled the extra point, will kick it off here.
Look at all those guys up front for Pikeville. You think they're maybe expecting something tricky here, maybe on the ground.
Chatlin Gerald back deep for the Panthers. He's so dangerous, has already returned a kickoff for a touchdown this season. Did it in the season opener against his former team, Prestonsburg, a couple of weeks ago. Bartley kicks this one gutter ball style. It will be fielded by Gerald at his own 20-yard line, looking for a seam.
Oh, yeah.
Bounces it outside. Can Chatlin Gerald do it again? Down the sideline, and he steps out of bounds, but not before getting pretty good field position for Pikeville, and then a flag comes in. That's going to be a late hit.
Yeah. A little bit overzealous there, Tanner, on the special teams, and you see some of this senior leadership, Luke Trimble, come over to his teammate and say, hey, let's kind of keep it calm down here. But that's why there were so many guys up front for Pikeville. They knew they weren't going to get a deep kick, but the thing rolls through perfectly to Gerald. He gets it, and I believe they're going to be inside the 20-yard line here, Tanner. And this Pikeville offensive line hungry for some big plays. You see 61 there, Roop, 59. The center is Coleman. Senior leadership up front.
Derek Pugh standing beside the quarterback Cody Dials in that pistol formation. False cadence there. Now Dials looks over to the Pikeville sideline for a new play.
Still 10 seconds on the play clock, so we have the play clocks in both end zones, easy to see, so Pikeville in no hurry.
Play clock down to 2. They just do get it off. They fake the handoff to Pugh, and keeping it himself, Dials bulldozes his way for about 10, maybe 11 yards. It'll be 1st and goal, and we check in for the first time tonight with sideline reporter Anthony Bersalia.
Tanner and Jim, the Tigers were ecstatic on that last touchdown drive and also converting on 4th and 1. Coach Cherico wants to see his Tigers do that more, and he said if we can convert the big plays, we can score big touchdowns and win this game. And on the other side, Coach McNamee was very disappointed in his Panthers for giving up that 4th and 1 and the touchdown as well. He wants to see better maturity and better adjustments on defense. Guys?
I'm trying to make an adjustment on offense here. Pugh somehow stayed on his feet, nearly lost the football as he was wrestled down at the 1-yard line. 2nd and goal coming up for the Panthers.
You see number 45 there, Derek Pugh, touches the ball 7 times last week, scores 4 touchdowns, rushes for 175 yards, and the only thing he can do is brag on his offensive line. You see a lot of great student athletes in this game. You see Daniel there, number 15. He's going to try to plug up the middle here.
They give it to Pugh, and he puts his head down and crosses the plane, and the Panthers are an extra point away from tying this thing up.
Oh, this is going to be a dandy, Tanner. It's just so tough for the defenses because these offenses are so adept at putting it in the end zone. Extra points, special teams could make a difference as we look here at the Deskins Motors instant replay. The offensive line clears the way, and Pugh is exactly right that time. He simply walks in. Paintsville front could get no push against the tough Pikeville Panther offensive line.
Denton Heffington on to attempt the extra point for Pikeville. And it's good, and we are deadlocked at 7 here between Pikeville and Paintsville. So the Tigers begin the game with a 12-play drive that spans 66 yards, ends in a touchdown. Pikeville responds with one of its patented short play drives, only 3 plays needed there to cover 16 yards. Derek Pugh punches it in from a yard out. And I hearken back to last weekend when we saw them in the Pike County Bowl against Letcher Central, Jim. they had, what was it, 5 or 6 touchdown drives that took 4 plays or less. It was just unfathomable.
Exactly, like an average of 3 plays. That's how explosive they can be. And Paintsville doing the right things, I think, under Coach Tirico here. They're going to try to control the ball, thereby keeping it out of the hands of that vaunted Pikeville Panther offense. These teams awfully tough for Class A football, Tanner. You see the depth that both teams are able to employ and able to have special teams where a lot of the starters aren't forced to play. Humidity going to be a factor, but both of these teams in excellent condition. That's a credit to the coaching staffs.
I remember Pikeville has a different kickoff specialist than Heffington, who kicks the extra points. Kenton Hall, the senior, handles kickoffs. Heffington, a junior, and Hall kicks this one short on the ground. Decent return out to about the 39-yard line. So the Tigers, after starting their first drive on their own 34, will operate here at about their own 39, maybe their own 40, depending on where they spot that thing.
That was freshman James Allen with his hands on it there. You see him in the huddle. A lot of good young players on both of these teams, particularly at wideout defensive back. And let's see what Pikeville does defensively here, how they can try to corral the big quarterback, Cash Daniel.
1st and 10. Daniel puts it in the belly of Phelps, finds a hole, and picks up 5, maybe 6 yards. Tackled on the play by his counterpart, Derek Pugh, the Pikeville running back who also plays linebacker. And it'll be 2nd and 5 for the Tigers.
Got to have good success on 1st down, I think, for Paintsville. You see there. Now you're in a situation where you could pass or run effectively. Look at that big offensive front there for Paintsville.
Daniel, this time quick hitter, completes the pass, but swallowed up is James Allen. First catch of the game for Allen, is 3rd on the season, but outstanding defensive awareness by that Pikeville defense.
Like sophomore Wyatt Batali comes up to make the stop, and thought that we might see the defensive backs kind of cheating up in both of the teams, both of the situations, Tanner, forcing the quarterbacks to complete the passes in the flat. Tough 3rd down call here. Pikeville like to cover with 8 and rush 3. Looks like they call a timeout here to talk things over.
Yeah, Paintsville takes a timeout, so the Tigers just with 1 timeout remaining here in this first half. 4:33 remaining in the opening quarter. Play selection so far for these two teams. For Paintsville, 14 plays run, 12 runs, 2 passes. And for Pikeville, of course, the 3 plays from scrimmage all have been runs. Kind of a small sample size here early, but it still gives you a window into what these teams like to do.
You know, the big guys up front there are talking with the coaches. You have 52, Trevor Adams, 62, Tanner Miller, 72, Tyler McAllister, 74, Ryan Moore, 75, Jonathan Lemaster. Look like they like to run off that left side a little bit. And you see the students, they're into it here. Tell you, back to week 0 when we went to the North Laurel South Laurel game, saw that throng of people there. As I walked through the North Laurel student section, a young man stuck his hands out and said, "Welcome to the madness." And it's been madness all the way. Okay, I mean, kids really into it. Great to see it.
On 3rd and 7, Daniel fakes a handoff. Now he throws it complete on the far sideline and coming up short of the 1st down, and looked like he might have lost the football for a moment, but the 4th down signal comes in as that pass play unsuccessful, and Paintsville will send on the punt team.
Take a look here on a Deskins Motors instant replay. Off the play fake, Allen pops back. They had a receiver go deep. Daniel chooses not to throw it, but good coverage out in the flat. Looked like first guy there, number 4, Michael McDonald.
Chatlin Gerald and Michael McDonald now back deep to receive this punt from Andrew Rice. And the punt will take a Tiger hop and bounce inside the 20-yard line. So a good punt by Rice. And we see Pikeville's offense for the second time in this game. Let's recap for you what Pikeville has done so far this season. The Panthers 2-0, a 43-6 win over Prestonsburg, and a 49-12 victory over Letcher Central, which we called last Saturday. 2-0 and scoring 92 points in the process.
Just got a tough offense, Tanner, and Paintsville going to have a tough time. They got the good start here, and critical second possession here is not sure the officials are going to assess a penalty here. I didn't pick that up, and not sure.
I didn't see it
either. Must have been something after the play.
Yeah, it was a 15-yarder because it moves Pikeville from its own 19 to its own 34.
That's a big swing.
And now another stoppage in play. Our referee Keith Henry trying to get something sorted out down there.
Not sure if they're getting organized with the change crew on the side there.
First and 10, Pikeville. They fake it to Pugh. Dials keeping it himself. Spilled at the 40-yard line after a gain of 6.
Ben Daniels comes up from his linebacking slot to make the stop. Dials, in only his third varsity start, looks super here. He certainly played well in the entire year, getting better with every snap.
Dials on 2nd and 4, gives it to Pugh. Derek trying to get around the edge. He does. He has the first down plus a few more as he's brought down short of midfield, and the Panthers move the chains. Great push from the offensive line there.
Good blocking, point of attack, and Pugh gets another first down. Really only the second first down for Pikeville. They started in great field possession on their first drive on the 16-yard line of Paintsville. Take it in for a touchdown. Field possession battle going Pikeville's way here early.
On first down, Pugh, not as much success this time. Still falls forward and moves the pile for a gain of 4, maybe 5 yards. Cash Daniel in on the stop for Paintsville, as you see the throng of Panther fans that have made their way down 23 here to downtown Paintsville at Memorial Field.
Let's take a look here on the Deskins Motors instant replay, and you just see a lot of big bodies banging into one another. Tough yards here this evening.
And we have a penalty marker down before our second down play could transpire. It's encroachment against Paintsville. And that 5-yard penalty, it appears, will give Pikeville a first down. 3 penalties already in this game against the Tigers, 1 against Pikeville. Panthers trying to beat Paintsville for the 14th time in the last 15 meetings. Paintsville looking for back-to-back wins over Pikeville for the first time in more than 20 years.
Well, I tell you, I didn't realize it'd been that dominant.
Dials on the quarterback keeper, has 4 yards, brings up 2nd and 6. Yeah, you're talking about the 2 meetings last season. Of course, Pikeville in the regular season cruised to victory over Paintsville. And then Paintsville comes back in the playoffs at Pikeville and knocks the Panthers out of the playoffs, ends their undefeated season in lopsided fashion.
Wow, what a game that was. And see across the way there, the stands. Not a lot of people sitting in the stands tonight, Tanner.
On 2nd and 7, Dials another keeper, and he's brought down after a meager gain. It'll be 3rd and 6. Cash Daniel in on the stop, along with a host of other Tigers.
Yeah, let's take a look here at number 30, Keaton. I think he's going to be one of the first guys there. That's just a freshman. Christian Keaton, 5'11", 200. Daniel comes up to finish it off.
Maybe in 4-down territory here. Right now it's 3rd and 6. Pugh on the handoff, hit, keeps his legs churning, and appears to have picked up the first down. That young man just does not go down after first contact.
Tanner, we talk about what kind of talent you're seeing here. You have Cash Daniel, already signed Division I linebacker. If we have an instant replay here, you're going to see 45 Pugh pile into Daniels, but he will not go down. He's able to spin and get another big first down. That's the 4th that I have Pikeville in the game.
6th play of the drive for the Panthers, all run so far. And another run here. This is Pugh. Nice hole. Has 3 about 4 yards before being spilled by Dalton Daniels. Second down coming up in this next play, maybe our final play of the first quarter.
Yeah, I'm thinking this probably will be the final play, unless it's a pass attempt that goes incomplete. Great first quarter of action. And they'll have to run one more play. There's about a 5-second differential on the play clock.
2nd and 6.
Close to the, it's only 2 seconds. They're going to get flagged here. You see Chris McNamee, he comes up and calls timeout. So we'll keep it here, Tanner, but Coach McNamee had to hustle up and get the timeout there. They would have been assessed a 5-yard penalty for delay of game.
Pikeville, the number 9 team in the Mountain Top 10. Paintsville, number 10. So this is a Mountain Top 10 matchup. And let's take a look at the series history between these two squads. We, of course, mentioned the 2 meetings last year, but in the modern series, Pikeville has really had the upper hand, 17-2 margin since 1998. And Pikeville, of course, beating Paintsville 62-8 in the regular season. The Tigers come back and beat Pikeville 30-6 in the playoffs. So that's why we were talking about how difficult it was to predict what would happen tonight.
Yeah, I mean, it could go either way, and certainly here at Memorial Field, you see what a great job they've done with this field. This is the same place they've been playing since primarily the conclusion of the Second World War. So it looks in great shape for all the games that have been played here. All the greats on both sides, Pikeville and Paintsville, have done battle here at Memorial Field, Paintsville.
2nd and 6. Pugh, delayed handoff, slips a tackler, picks up the first down and goes out of bounds. 0.3 of a second showing on the first quarter clock as it stops as Pugh went out of bounds, but not before moving the chains again for the Panthers, and the fans like it.
Certainly so. Good blocking on that right side. First down call here for Coach McNamee. They've done such a good job running. Remember, they can throw it as well. Gerald's begging for the football.
Final play of the first quarter is a run that goes for a few yards, and that gets us to the end of our first frame. So far, it's everything we thought it would be and more. Pikeville and Paintsville all knotted up at 7 in the Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week. Second quarter coming up next on this TV and WYMT.com. Start of the second quarter here at Memorial Field. Pikeville driving, trying to take the lead over Paintsville. And it's Pugh, another handoff, and Pugh stays on his feet despite a lot of contact and a lot of guys in the blue and camo jerseys trying to bring him down. He's close to a first down.
Yeah, I believe they're going to mark him just shy.
So it'll be 3rd and 1.
Tell you the way this big offensive line's moving people off the line of scrimmage, it's almost like a free play here, Tanner, to get the ball in the hands of the big running back, Derek Pugh. They do the little cross buck in the backfield.
Keep your
Makes
eye
it
on
difficult to see who's going to get the ball.
Receiver at the bottom of your screen. They may try something with him here. It's a bad snap. Dials going back, trying to fall on it.
I think he lost it at the bottom of the pile.
Tigers saying they have it. And they do.
Perhaps big number 65, Scotty Sexton, 6'2", 225 junior. The fans love it. Looked like Pikeville was going in for the touchdown to take the lead. Snap didn't look that bad, Tanner, but it was off to the right side. And Dials, I think, perhaps had his eyes elsewhere. Could have been a quick snap. He hustled to get back on top of it, but here came the camouflage jerseys of the Tigers to be all over that football. First turnover of the game.
So after giving up a long drive, that Paintsville defense bends but does not break and forces a turnover. Cash Daniel and company back out on the field here, 1st and 10. Handoff to Phelps goes nowhere. How about a great push from that Pikeville defensive line led by junior Austin Salyer. Let's go back to the replay of the fumble, Jim.
I think you're going to see the snap there. It just kind of goes over his shoulder, and the young man there, maybe a little bit of the inexperience, tried to pick it up and make something happen, and you see the battle at the bottom of that pile, and it's going the way of big number 65, Scotty Sexton.
So Sexton, Cash Daniel, and Ben Daniels all with a fumble recovery for Paintsville this season. 2nd and 10. Cash handing off. Phelps. Tough yardage. Picks up 5, so it'll be 3rd and manageable for the Tigers.
So prior to the game, Tanner, number 34, Blake Charles, middle linebacker for, actually left linebacker, you see there at your screen for Pikeville. He and Cash had to take time to talk with one another, 2 big players.
On 3rd and 4, we'll mark him just shy of the 1st down marker. Looks like there's going to be 4th and 1 coming up here. Depends on the spot. Phelps was the ball carrier. Hey, a good spot, and they give him a 1st down.
I just see a lot of good sportsmanship here, Tanner. You know, both of these school systems have a lot to be proud of, and these seniors and underclassmen, great student athletes, always concerned about team, not the eye.
1st and 10. Daniel, pass, complete. This is Darren Morris. Morris has 10 yards and a 1st down. So Cash Daniel now 3 for 3 through the air in this ball game. And talking to this Paintsville coaching staff before the game, Jim, you know, I said, look, you know, obviously Cash Daniel is the player that's getting all the ink and all the press. How do the other players handle that? And they said, well, really, we don't have to worry about that because Cash is such a great leader. He doesn't necessarily embrace the attention, but he embraces the exposure it brings to the program. And they say his attitude and unselfishness is just contagious throughout this program.
Oh, I think you can see that on both sides of the ball. Pugh, the star. When you've got the big rod, the big star, and he's a good guy, makes for a lot of good seasons.
Phelps on 1st and 10 has 6, perhaps 7 yards. And all of a sudden, this Paintsville offensive line starting to assert its will against a Pikeville defensive line that looked virtually untouchable last weekend when we saw them against Letcher Central.
You see the offensive line there moving away. 52, Adams, 62, Miller. Big number 74, Moore, 75, Lemaster, 72, McAllister.
We'll check in with Anthony after this play. It's 2nd and 3 for the Tigers. Daniel keeps it himself. Has the 1st down, lowers his shoulder and tacks on a couple of yards. In addition to moving the chains, Tanner Rook laid a licking on him, but it wasn't enough to stop the 1st down and not enough to stop this sideline report from Anthony Bersalia.
Guys, the Paintsville sideline was ecstatic about causing that fumble. And Coach Jericho said that's what we have to do earlier this week. He said if we want to win this game, we have to make huge plays, but also cause Pikeville to turn the ball over. So they were very pleased with the fumble. And then on the Panthers side, Coach McNamee said don't worry about it. We lost a little momentum, but we can gain that momentum back. We just got to be more disciplined and execute on offense. Tanner and Jim.
Anthony, thank you. Tigers in Pikeville territory now. Phelps. 3 yards. One thing you notice about every running back we've seen so far in this game is they just refuse to go down when they're hit the 1st time.
Despite some big licks. And also you'll see fundamentally sound. Big hit there, of course, by 34 Charles, but fundamentally sound in the way they carry the football, Tanner. We haven't seen the ball pop loose despite some big hits.
Paintsville trying to start the season 3-0 for the first time since 2007. Started 4-0 that year under Jim Tom Allen. As this pass is incomplete, intended for Darren Morris. It'll be 3rd and 7 for the Tigers.
Another tough play call for Coach Chirico. Does it become 4-down territory? Do you keep it on the ground, or do you try and get one of the wideouts down deep? You see how they've tried basically flat passes. You wonder if maybe they go for a little fake for those, a little pump fake from Cash Daniel, and then maybe try something deep. He's got a big arm on him.
Big play early in this ball game. 3rd and 7. Paintsville at the Pikeville 42. Cash looking to throw. They set the screen up. It's caught. Luke Trimble trying to dance his way for first down yardage, but he's going to be about 6 yards short as a flag comes in.
Not sure. See a signal. Perhaps it may be face mask against Pikeville. Another hustling play by Blake Charles, the linebacker. I thought he had him pretty well bottled up. Let's take a look here at Tedeschi's Motors instant replay. Good play call. Let's see if you don't see 34. Charles has him. Then bounces off. Then Roop is there, and then Charles hustles back to get him again, but there may have been a face mask at the end.
That's what they call
inadvertent.
So it's a 5-yard penalty. And we'll repeat the down, 3rd and 2.
Big break there for Paintsville.
Yeah, because 3rd and 7 is more of a passing down. Now 3rd and 2, I would think they would let either Cash Daniel or Kent Phelps try to pick up these couple of yards and move the sticks.
Plus, you've got the opportunity, if you don't do much here, you could go for it on 4th down with only a yard to go behind that huge offensive line.
Daniel hands off. Phelps, first down. Looked like a shortstop sliding into second base at the end of that play, but it was good enough to get the job done.
Well, my man RG3 can't learn to slide, but you saw young Kent Phelps do that superbly. I have unofficially Paintsville's 7th first down of this first half. Pikeville with 5, but the one turnover, the difference. Pikeville anxious to try to get that ball back. Paintsville in no hurry.
Phelps on 1st and 10. Bottled up after a gain of 3 yards. Good tackling that time by Dalton Mead and Blake Charles. 2nd and 6 here for the Tigers.
You know, Tanner, I think this is going Paintsville's way here early, just simply because neither team getting a lot of possessions. This is only Paintsville's 3rd time to have the ball. Pikeville's only had it twice, so hard to score 40 points and keep that average up when you're only going to get to football maybe 5-6 times in an entire game.
Well, they go to Phelps again, evades one tackler in the backfield, somehow stays on his feet. Picks up 3 yards, and 3rd down coming up for the Tigers. This is their first home game of the season, Jim. They won their last 2 home openers by an average of 17 points. As you see Phelps here, the happy feet, able to do what a lot of running backs probably would not be able to do. And
oh, yeah.
Evade a defender in the backfield.
Making some good moves there in a tightly closed space, and it seems like it's been 3rd and about 5 for Paintsville the entire game, doesn't it?
It's 3rd and 5 here. Daniel Phelps looking for that first down. He's brought down about 1.5 yards shy, so it'll be 4th down for the Tigers. I haven't seen them run Cash a whole lot in this game. Of course, Cash and Kent Phelps each entered this game with 18 rushes on the season, so Joe Chirico likes to spread out the hits.
I think Cash is just sort of making the decision at the line of scrimmage, Tanner, and he's got some guys on him, so he's getting it to his mates. Big call here. You got to believe Pikeville's coming with those linebackers up close.
4th and 1.5, crowd on its feet. It's a pitch to Phelps. And
I
Phelps,
think he got it, did he?
Very close to a first down. He was hit by Michael McDonald and Logan Coleman. It's going to depend on the spot here, Jimmy.
Chris McNamee and his guys are right in front of the chains. You see across the way here, good pitch. Phelps going to try to get it, but look at the white shirts come up, and there's Coleman as well as 34 Charles, and they make the stop. They'll turn it over on downs.
And that gets us to a media timeout. Still all squared at 7 here in the Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week on this TV and WYMT.com. It is not the 3rd quarter, it's the 2nd quarter, and Pikeville takes over after the turnover on downs, the Panther defense gets a big stop. Holding Phelps to 1.5 yards when he needed 2 on the 4th down play, and the first throw of the game is incomplete. Dials tried to hook up with Chatlin Gerald, and it's incomplete. How about that defensive play and near interception?
Yeah, Luke Trimble was cheating up from his defensive back slot. We've seen the defensive backs cheat up on both of these teams and play that flat pass pretty good. You just wonder if one time they're going to go for a pump fake and try to hit something deep.
Gerald, very dangerous. Jim, I was researching, he may be the only player in the state right now to have a touchdown on offense, defense, and special teams. And here's a guy with a lot of touchdowns on the ground, Derek Pugh, but only 3 yards to show for it there, so it'll be 3rd and 7. Let's take a look at the running back comparison. Derek Pugh and, of course, Cash Daniel, the quarterback for Paintsville. Some pretty video game-like numbers from those two guys, 2 superstars here in the mountains so far this season.
Oh, good look there at the young man. Outstanding numbers, outstanding young men. They lead their team on and off the field. A lot to be proud of here for these folks in the Big Sandy.
3rd and 7. Dials keeping it himself. He's not going to get even close. Cash Daniel combines with Christian Keaton to make the stop, and it's 4th down.
You know, Tanner, we've been calling number 30, Christian Keaton, 5'11", 200, number 30, just a freshman, making some big plays in the line. I think that young man's not going to be pretty tough in 4 years.
Well, talking to some of these Paintsville assistant coaches, they say the group that they've had in kind of the elementary school, middle school programs the last several years, finally starting to get up to the high school level, and it's going to ensure them a competitive program for the next several years.
Looks like he's maybe coming off the left edge there if they don't get this one away.
Play is blown dead before Michael McDonald can punt it away.
If that's against Paintsville, it'd be a 1st down. Oh, okay. Illegal substitution.
And that'll back the Panthers up 5 more yards. Pikeville's been penalized 3 times tonight, even with Paintsville in that category.
Tanner, it's been a great football game. I mean, this is a tremendous high school football game. You see the railings there beyond the end zone, the top of your screen. I mean, people are 3, 5, 10 deep along the side of the field.
McDonald punts this one. It's going to go bounce and be fielded by Phelps. He's going to be able to play this one. And Phelps is going to be pushed out near midfield. So good field position for Coach Joe Chirico's Tigers as they begin their 4th drive of the game.
You know, Tanner, you mentioned that just the 4th drive of the game. Usually a team will get their hands on it at least a half a dozen times. And for Coach Chirico, his guys have done the job here against Pikeville. Pikeville only getting their hands on it 3 times in the 1st half.
So Paintsville 51 yards away from taking the lead in this game. Our refs are trying to talk it over here as we have 2:53 remaining in our opening half. Enough time for the Tigers to mount a scoring drive.
And we saw the penalty there. I'm not sure if we're going for a water break or no, someone must have got hurt, Tanner, right in front of.
Okay, yeah, the player down over here on the sidelines. We'll have our camera guys see if we can show you what it is that's going on over here on the sideline as the fans have risen to their feet. The coaches are over there.
Yeah, it's
checking. Was it Phelps that went down?
You know, I thought he was beyond the impact there. I'm not sure. Could have been maybe just one of the young men actually standing there. Let's see. You know, is that Phelps? He's got the number 1. That's him. Oh man, that would be a brutal blow
really
for Paintsville.
Can't afford to lose. Phelps entering tonight, 318 yards on the season, 4 touchdowns.
Tough slot, of course. I was talking prior to the game to Cash Daniel's mom, Layla. She talked about this was the game 2 years ago where Cash broke his leg against Pikeville. So it's not been always peaches and cream for number 15, Cash Daniel.
And Phelps is on his feet now. That's a good sign. Looks to be an ankle or a leg. Let's get a camera shot. Show you him hobbling over there on the sideline.
You know, they've got the medical staff down there taking a look at him, and we hope the young man's able to return.
Have Anthony try to get an update on him.
I'm going to guess maybe James Allen, number 10. I know he plays as a starting role, but you might see him just as a freshman move into an even bigger role here in the latter part of this first half. And you might even see Cash Daniel take the football a little bit more here, Tanner.
1st and 10 at their own 49. The Tigers are going backwards here by a couple of yards as Alex Spencer is snowed under, and that Pikeville offensive line, or the Pikeville defensive line rather, pushed around and won the battle of at the line of scrimmage there, and it's now 2nd and long. Sugar huddle here.
One of the first times they've gone on a quick count.
Daniel keeping it himself, and he is tripped up after a gain of 1 yard. So 3rd and long here as the stop is made by Logan Coleman. Let's check in with Anthony.
Guys, Johnny Phelps is the Paintsville Tiger down. He's favoring his left knee right now. His return status is questionable. Tanner and Jim.
All right, so Kent Phelps questionable to return to the lineup.
Well, let's just hope it's nothing serious, and, you know, if he has to sit out this game, that's the breaks, but you certainly don't want to see a young man lost for a lot of games.
3rd and 11. 3 receivers over to the right for Cash. Throws a stiff arm, lowers a shoulder, picks up a few tough yards, but it's going to be well short of a first down. Daniel does advance the ball into Pikeville territory, so it'll be interesting to see if you're Joe Chirico, do you try to pin Pikeville deep here with not much time to work with?
See the play there is Daniel. He delivers a load to the tackler, and they reciprocate in kind. Young man plays all the sports here for Paintsville. Sort of reminds me of the great shortstop, the San Francisco Giants, that played for Paintsville. Of course, that would be Johnny LeMaster, plays all kinds of sports here and earned some 25 high school letters. You see there, Cash Daniel, committed to Kentucky. He plays baseball, basketball, whatever. Whenever they roll the balls out, Daniel been playing here since his freshman year. And you see that 224 now. Is that going to be the weight, or is that just a number at the combine, or?
Well, I think that was just a number at the combine because Cash is
they list him at 250.
Listed at 6'3", 250. So unless he's added 26 pounds between then and now, which is possible, he's really bulked up and
man,
one of the stronger players probably in the state of Kentucky that you'll see.
Yeah, as I mentioned, he just plays all the sports here, and be interesting to see, Tanner, at the conclusion of this year if he maybe tries to go on to UK like a lot of guys do, or if he plays basketball, plays baseball. I know the kid. I got to believe he wants to play those senior seasons with his guys. I'd say it's probably 50-50, something he'd certainly love to do.
Rice, pretty good punt. Fair catch called for as this one will bounce and continue to roll and be downed inside the 5-yard line. So the punter Rice does his job there.
Tell you, covers some 51 yards. It rolls perfectly and puts Pikeville bottled up. Now they have a type of offense that can score in a hurry. Gerald touched the ball 3 times last week, Tanner. He scored 2 touchdowns. Of course, they got the big lead against Letcher, so they didn't really have to incorporate him into the offense more, but gotta believe Paintsville will have to pay some attention to where number 1 goes.
92 seconds remaining in our opening half. Pikeville first down on its own 4-yard line. Pugh trying to sneak around the corner. Turns upfield, and then Cash Daniel wrestles him to the ground. Boy, a lot of talent in that clash there, huh? And Pugh is shaken up.
I think Cash caught him just underneath the shoulder pads. Don't know if we have another look at that. You see young Daniel as he goes over to check on Pugh. Some fine young men here. Sometimes, Tanner, you bring some injuries with you to the game, and I think he just took a tough lick there underneath the shoulder pads. Let's take a look here on the Deskins Motors instant replay as number 15, Daniel, comes up to deliver a little massage.
Oh,
man, there's a little bit helmet to helmet there, and not, inadvertent, but still, what a That was a Division I collision. Okay. Kind of rhymes there. That was a Division I collision. Now we got some collisions going on in the backfield here. Pikeville still with play clock hasn't started yet.
All right, they haven't resumed that yet. They'll call that a gain of 9 by Pugh as he will go over to the sideline.
I thought he got the first down, so I guess.
Well, they're bringing the chains out now. The scorer listed it as a gain of 9, and we have the camera shot here, courtesy of Freddie Hunt. And
Keith has to step right in front of us, so get him out of the way there. Oh, man.
Got it by the nose.
Hey, great shot, guys.
So call it a gain of 10 for Pugh before taking the big lick from Cash. And it'll be 1st and 10 for Pikeville.
Of course, Paintsville won the toss, elected to receive, came up with the big touchdown drive. Pikeville will get their hands on it to begin the second half. I don't know that you want to do something here, turn the ball over. If you feel like you've got the best team, I don't know that you need to try and take some chances here, Tanner. And we know Coach McNamee feels like he's got a pretty good club.
Dials handing off to Evan Rhodes, the sophomore, and Rhodes finds an alley on that far sideline and is knocked out of bounds after picking up about 7.
Good hustle by senior defensive back Luke Trimble, number 11 there. Got to play this game sideline to sideline. Deskins Motors instant replay here. Young man has some good speed, and Rhodes almost gets the corner, but you're going to see number 11 come up and make the stop, Trimble.
On 2nd and 6, this is Chatlin Jarrell, his first carry of the game, and Jarrell is wrestled to the ground by a couple of Tigers, Christian Keaton and Cash Daniel among them. And he picks up a first down. So Jarrell, who is known more for his prowess as a receiver and kick returner, takes the handoff here and rewards Coach Chris McNamee with a first down carry.
Now let's watch number 30 here as he fights off a block and makes the stop. Keaton, just a freshman, playing superbly.
Dials, pass, complete, short gain. That's Clay Sloan, his first catch of the game.
Not
Second
sure
down coming up.
Not sure why the clock is stopped.
I'm not sure either. Pikeville did not call a timeout. Clock stopped at 40
I guess they did call
seconds. Now, yeah, now they're going to give Pikeville a timeout. Yep, so the Panthers will have none remaining after this.
Sort of thought they might just run the clock out, Tanner, and go in with this one tied at 7. They'll choose not to. Maybe try to get Jarrell a couple of plays in space because he is dangerous. He can score from anywhere on the field.
Talk a little bit about the games we have coming up tomorrow as part of the Appalachian Bowl in Manchester at 6 o'clock. Knox Central will take on Southwestern. You and Earl Owens will have the call of that game.
Oh, I tell you, the Panthers and the Warriors.
That's right, both in the Mountain Top 10. And then in the nightcap, Justin Haddix brings his Corbin Redhounds into hostile territory to take on the Tigers.
I tell you, I'm not sure.
County.
Yeah, you know, I'm just doing a little, well, I guess I was going to mean to write it down. Corbin's schedule after the Clay County game is like brutal. They've got Mayfield and a number of teams. Coach Haddix scheduling some tough teams, and of course Knox Central and Southwestern, some great teams. The tie-dyed look is back, isn't it?
Oh, a little trickeration here. Chatlin Jarrell looking to throw it. No one was there. Now he reverses field.
There's some room up there.
Chatlin looking to make something happen. And finally, one of those big defensive linemen pushes him to the ground. That was Trevor Preston, the senior, 6'5", 300. Got out in space and pushed him to the ground, but it's a first down.
How does a guy 6'5", 300 bring down Jarrell in space? You just saw it right there. I believe they're going to just spike the ball here.
And Dials will clock it. 28 seconds remaining here in the first half. Pikeville on its own 46-yard line.
Dials that time was perilously close to clocking the football backwards. If you do that, it's a fumble. Okay, so he was sort of backpedaling there and let it go. I think
he has one fumbled snap in this game.
Man, that I think both coaches would be satisfied with an even game, play the second half for victory.
2nd and 10 after the spike. Pass complete. Gerald looking for a block, picks one up but doesn't get another. He has 5 yards. Clock will run as we're under 20 seconds to play. Pikeville out of timeouts. It's 3rd and 6. Could be the final play of the first half here as we're now under 10 seconds. Haven't seen what kind of arm Dials has yet. He'll hand it off here. Is that Pugh back in the game? It might be.
No.
Nope. Check it. That was.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. No. Yes.
Vanderbeck.
Yes, that was.
On the carry. And that gets us to the end of the first half. And we are deadlocked at a touchdown apiece. Pugh, you're right, Jim, did get the carry on that one. 7-7.
See him back in there
at halftime. Anthony is standing by with Joe Chirico.
Coach Chirico, 7-7 at halftime. What does your team need to do to make some adjustments in the second half?
We just got to keep executing our game plan. We've made a few mistakes. Kickoff there was a big mistake. A guy went the wrong way. A couple guys went the wrong way. That happens.
How huge was that turnover down here, though, when Pikeville turned it over?
Oh, it's always huge when you get a turnover. We want to create more of those.
Coach, we'll see you in the second half. Best of luck to you.
Thank you.
Tanner and Jim.
Thank you, Anthony. And again, the halftime score, it's Pikeville 7 and Paintsville 7 here in the Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week. Jim and I will be back to recap the first half and preview the second half for you after this word on this TV and WYMT.com.
Great student athletes, kids that are leaders in the community. I saw Superintendent of Paintsville Schools, Coy Salmons, and his wife, Ann, and also board member Ken Fuller. Had to talk with those folks just about how impressed I was, Tanner. The terrible disasters that Johnson County here has felt over the last few weeks, and certainly the supplies and things. The kids at Johnson Central High School and at Paintsville High School were just so responsive to that. And the video that we had that showed just how much those kids cared about one another. I know Coy Salmons, the Floyd County name Coy David, Prater Creek product, but he talked about how they're just one community here. And certainly Paintsville and Johnson Central, tremendous rivals, but they were able to put that aside. A lot of great young kids, and of course across the way the Pikeville folks as well. Just two tremendous school systems who always do well on the state testing, and I'm here to tell you as a retired teacher, hey, Lou, that's a good thing.
Yeah, we're about 30 seconds away from kicking off our second half. Remember, Paintsville won the toss to start this game, elected to receive, and then drove it down for a touchdown. They got the Hawaiian theme again. Now those are the Pikeville students.
Yeah.
Paintsville has an outstanding student section here. We'll try to show you them here in a second. Their theme tonight's red, white, and blue. Kind of the American flag patriotic theme.
And listen, I like that Hawaiian theme. I'm thinking we could get Neil Middleton to understand that it's a little warm, particularly during August and September. Maybe we could sort of do the little Hawaiian theme. And you see the big blue right there. They're fired up. Everybody gets into painting the faces and having a big smile. And what a great evening it has been for high school football. This is a tremendous place to play on the natural turf. Paintsville Tigers prepare to kick off.
Brett Bartley has it teed up. The Paintsville fans on their feet, and the second half is underway. And this will be good field position as a heads-up play by Pikeville's Logan Coleman to snag that one at the Pikeville 45-yard line, go to the turf, and we see
Coleman never comes
Pikeville
off the field.
Offense on the field. Yeah, he'll stay out there, won't he?
I mean, the only time he came off the field was when his helmet popped off. And we have a report, Tanner.
We'll get to that after this play. 1st and 10. They spotted at the Pikeville 46. Right away, they go to the bread and butter. Derek Pugh. Pugh trying to bounce it outside. He's strung out, and he is dropped. Maybe picked up 1 yard. And we have some bad news if you're a Paintsville fan to report from the sideline, as we have learned that Kent Phelps will not return to this game. Again, we don't know the exact nature of his injury. It looked to be an ankle or leg as we take another look at the replay here.
Well, it looked like Pugh was going to have an opportunity to go right there. You see Roop maybe with a little bit of a hold, but he gets away with it. How about the job that Paintsville does stringing this thing out? Dalton Daniels, just a sophomore, number 5, grabs hold and won't let go. See Phelps right there, Tanner.
On 2nd and 9, draw play. Pugh, again, he is rebuffed. Gain of 2, 3rd and 7 coming up for Pikeville. But, Jim, we can talk about this later when the Paintsville offense comes back out onto the field. But just your initial reaction, what that changes for them without having starting running back Kent Phelps in the lineup.
Boy, that just hurts your ability. He's got so much speed. He's the guy with the speed to stretch the defense, and now you'll see, I think, Pikeville's defense come up real close, cheat up to the line of scrimmage. But we saw a shot of Phelps there with the wrap around the knee. It didn't look serious enough to knock him out for more games, and that's a
Pugh
good
needs
thing.
7 for the first down, and he did not get it.
Did he come loose?
Outstanding defensive play by Darren Morris. I think he jostled it loose for a moment, but
held on.
Pugh collected himself. And
he's limping a little bit, Tanner. Let's watch here. Look at the great job here by the Paintsville Tigers.
Morris,
there's 21
right there.
Morris. Watch him try to rip it out, but he couldn't because of the technically sound, fundamentally sound way that Pugh carries that football.
So Pikeville goes 3 and out to start the second half. A big victory for Coach Joe Chirico's Paintsville defense. Punt is up and away from McDonald, a high one. Spiral punt. Bounces around the 20-yard line, and that's where it will be down by Blake Charles.
Yeah, we mentioned Charles and Coleman. I mean, he's always around the ball. 59 does not leave the field. You know, it's pretty humid out this evening. What kind of condition does that young man have to be in? You see the T-shirts there. They had the Beat Pikeville shirts out.
Don't have an official statistic, but I would venture to guess this is one of the best crowds they've had here at Paintsville in quite some time.
Right. Unofficially had both teams with 8 first downs in that first half. Pikeville unable to get one. They have to kick it away.
1st and 10. First drive of the second half for Paintsville, and Cash Daniel underthrows his intended target, Darren Morris, who just made the outstanding play on defense. It'll be 2nd and 10. Cash looked a little off balance on that throw.
Now, sometimes you're going to have some problems when one of your top backs, Kent Phelps, unable to play. Last week, he carried it 13 times for 141 yards and 2 touchdowns. First week, 5 carries, 177 yards and 2 touchdowns. So they really miss young Mr. Phelps.
This is Alex Spencer picking his way for a couple of yards. Give him 3, and it'll be 3rd and 7 for the Tigers.
Just like you said at halftime, Tanner, it sort of turned into a defensive slugfest as the big guys get in there and battle one another. Thought we'd see a lot of scoring here this evening.
Paintsville trying to start 3-0 for the first time since 2007. Pikeville trying to win its 18th straight regular season game. You have to go back to September of 2013 to find the last regular season loss for Pikeville.
Only 5 seconds on the play clock. And
timeout called by Paintsville. Play clock was winding down, and there seemed to be some confusion about that play call, so they'll get a chance to straighten it out here.
Certainly what happens, you've maybe got a particular package in a play, and Phelps is not in the lineup, so you just don't know who's going to come in and take those spots, and sometimes you just have a little bit of miscommunication, and that time Coach Chirico will decide to go ahead and call timeout, get his charges together. We did see Phelps. He's over on the sidelines. He's still got the pads on. He's got a wrap on that knee. And good to see him still be able to stand up on his own power.
And there you take a look at the Blue Crew, the Paintsville student section. They were out early and went over and spent some time with them. They were out here before we got here at like 4:30, 5 o'clock, tailgating, throwing some cornhole.
I tell you, it's a community affair here. Big call here. Wonder if maybe Pikeville will come with some heavy pressure. Those linebackers are cheating up pretty close to the line of scrimmage.
Odd formation here. They form a wall for Cash Daniel, and he's driven backwards. How about that play by Anthony Vanderbeck? Wrestles Daniel to the ground, and Paintsville will have to punt.
What a hit. At least Vanderbeck is 5'11", 155, and he brought it all in that particular hit. Daniel comes off to the side. Both teams an offensive possession and 3 and out.
Andrew Rice, the senior, on to punt it away. Chatlin Gerald back deep for Pikeville, and he may get a chance to return this one. Instead, he will let it bounce, and it takes a tiger hop down at the 36-yard line of Pikeville.
Pikeville winning the field position battle. They've had some opportunities here, and we'll see what Coach McNamee decides to draw up. First possession of this second half, they really couldn't get much going.
So each team with a 3 and out to start the second half here, as this has become very much a defensive showdown. Two Mountain top 10 teams, number 10 Paintsville, number 9 Pikeville. Around the edge, Vanderbeck, who just made the great defensive play, gets rewarded with a carry here, and he runs for a first down.
Good blocking point of attack. They just go for the sweep to the top of your screen. And Vanderbeck, after making the tremendous defensive play, you see here just the jet sweep, and Vanderbeck will come close to the first down yardage. They will give him the first down. First down of the second half.
This is another run. Good yardage. Vanderbeck driven down after a gain of 4, maybe 5 yards. Check it, that was Derek Pugh back in the lineup, and Pugh, an outstanding running back, but Jim, you can almost tell like he's maybe lost half a step since being shaken up with that injury late in the first half.
Well, I tell you, he's lost half a step, but he's gained a lot of strength. The young man brings it all, and Cash Daniel comes over to make the stop along with his teammates.
Stoppage in play as Dials, check it.
Is that Pugh?
That may be Pugh adjusting his helmet. And I think they're going to get a sub in for him now as Rhodes, the sophomore, comes onto the field, and Pugh will have to go to the sideline to get that hardware taken care of. He's had some hard luck tonight.
Yeah.
Had to leave a play after being shaken up, returned, now has to leave here on 2nd and 6. Dials pitches to Rhodes, trying to get a block on the corner. Kicks it to the outside, and Rhodes is knocked out of bounds. A couple of yards shy of the first down marker, so 3rd down awaiting the Panthers here.
Big hit in front of the Pikeville coaching staff there as Rhodes nearly got first down yardage, knocked out of bounds by Cash Daniel and his mates.
Rhodes now over 100 yards on the season, Jim. Entered tonight with 87 yards on 11 rushes, but with Pugh having to come out a couple times, he's played a bigger role. Derek's back in there now on 3rd and short. They give it to him, and he has the first down with forward progress.
Pugh with both hands around that football as the Tigers, well schooled. They've got a couple of guys holding the running back up and some other guys grabbing for that football. You see Pugh, he knows he's got first down yardage. He holds on to the ball. Looks at those big arms of the Tiger defense pushing him back.
It's a Pikeville offense that averages 446 yards per game, has been held well under that here tonight. But driving here with a chance to take the lead. On the sweep, it's Sloan. Stays on his feet down to around the 35-yard line. Call it a gain of 6, maybe 7 yards, depending on the spot. He was tackled on the play by a couple of Tigers, Cash Daniel and Darren Morris among them. And they do give him 7 yards, so it's 2nd and 3 Pikeville.
Good first down call. Great first down yardage, and that's what Coach McNamee wants. Student sections from both teams fired up.
Pistol formation now. Dials gives to Pugh on 2nd and 3, and Derek Pugh picks up another first down, and then Cash Daniel takes him out. But not before the Panthers move the sticks again. You get the sense, Jim, that a touchdown drive here by Pikeville, the way this game is going as you take a look at the replay, would be monumental.
It certainly would. You saw Pugh there able to cut it up to the outside, sort of gave a left shoulder feint to the inside, popped it to the outside, and that's another first down. I have 3 first downs in this drive for the Panthers as they chew up a bunch of clock here.
Started on their own 36-yard line. 6th play of the drive coming up as they're at the Paintsville 24. 1st and 10. Dials, quarterback keeper, nowhere to go. Tackled from behind by Scotty Sexton, the junior, 6'2", 225 pounds. Minimal gain, sets up 2nd down. Call it 9 yards to go.
Junior quarterback Cody Dials in just his 3rd start. Looks like a seasoned veteran out there. You can note the body language. He seems in control.
Pugh looking for a block, cuts it back. Small gain, 3rd down coming up. Boy, they're just kind of dinking and dunking down the field. 3 yards here on a run, 5 yards there on a run. Seems to be wearing down this Paintsville defense.
Well, it's taking this crowd, this big home crowd, a little bit out of the game. See across the way, Dalton Daniels, number 5 for Paintsville, wanted to get his guys on the sidelines and in the stands fired up here. The crowd kind of gone silent here as Pikeville in this big drive.
3rd and 6, they pitch it to Pugh. Derek runs out of blockers, puts his head down, tries to do it himself, and he is at least a yard, maybe 2 yards shy of the first down.
And the helmet pops off again, so he'll have to come to the side. Evan Rhodes checks in again. You're going to see here the pitch goes to Pugh, but Paintsville defense has it covered pretty well, so he just decides to cut it up, and some big bodies crash into it. Helmet pops off. Tough 4th down call without your top running back Pugh in there.
It's 4th and 1. Pugh out, Rhodes in.
Everybody disdaining the field goals. They're going for touchdowns.
Dials, handoff, and I don't think he got there. That was Vanderbeck. It's a turnover on downs, and once again, that Paintsville defense comes up with another big stop.
Tanner, if we could get another look here, you're going to see the UK signee, Cash Daniel, anticipate the play beautifully. Of course, I guess we're going to break here, but great play by the UK signee.
7-7, Paintsville takes over after this in the Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week on this TV and WYMT.com. Back to the replay of that 4th down stop. You're right, it was Cash Daniel shooting in there.
Anticipating the play as a
among
quarterback
some other
should.
Tigers to force the turnover on downs. It was 4th and 1. Pikeville did not get it, and now the Tigers take over on their own 16-yard line, tied at 7, but without their starting running back, who is not expected to return to this game, in Kent Phelps. The carry that time, I believe, was that Morris or Allen. A minimal gain. 2nd down coming up. Penalty flag down.
Not sure what happened there. Some of the guys, you see them sort of with their hands up, and looks like personal foul. Not sure if maybe someone kind of got tangled up there a little bit.
We'll see where they march it off. In the meantime, let's check in with Anthony Bersalia down on the sidelines.
Guys, Coach McNamee was very, very frustrated that his team wasn't able to convert on 4th and 1. He said he also felt like his offense was doing terrible communication. Too many men on the field at one point, but he wants to see them clean that up for the rest of this half if they want to win this ball game. And then Coach Jericho was very proud of his defense for making the huge stop on 4th and 1. He wants to see them maybe air it out and mix it up on the run a little bit and try to get into the end zone. Tanner and Jim.
Thank you for that report, Anthony. It was a holding call there. 4th penalty of the game on Paintsville, so it's now 2nd and 18. And Cash Daniel keeps it himself, and 3 Panthers meet him before he can get ahead of steam, and it's going to be 3rd and a cab ride. Good defensive play by Blake Charles. Called his name a lot on the defensive end tonight. He's been very active in helping contain Cash Daniel.
Boy, I tell you, haven't we called his name a lot? And saw those 2 young men talk with one another prior to the game. A lot of great sportsmanship, and looks like we've got a little bit of our first cramp situation. Looks like maybe one of the big offensive linemen, Tanner, and these guys have been going at it pretty hard. Is that Daniel?
That's Cash Daniel down on the ground, getting some help up from his teammates.
Well, I tell you, that would be a big blow if he's got to come off to the side and he's going to limp off. You're talking about 6'3", 250, never coming off the field in this type of heat and humidity. So you're seeing the right leg there. Taking it easy, got to get hydrated. And got to believe that he hates to come off the field. Not sure who the backup quarterback is. He hadn't played a whole lot.
It might be Chris Allen.
Didn't Daniel take like every snap for Paintsville last year? I mean, I think he played quarterback pretty much all the time. It's going to be number 29. It's Chris Allen, just a freshman.
Does have 1 touchdown pass this season. In a tough spot here, though, on 3rd and 16. He's going to throw it in the flat, completes it, dangerous pass. And now they're going to say it was incomplete, intended for Alex Spencer. Even if Spencer makes that catch, he really didn't have anywhere to go.
No, he didn't, but you got to love Coach Chirico giving his guys a lot of confidence. The freshman quarterback comes in, and he lets him throw the ball in his own end zone. So I like the way Coach Chirico is kind of giving his guys the positive vibes. That's what you've got to have to come away with a big win in a game like this. Pikeville awfully tough on special teams here. They should get terrific field position.
Punt by Rice, good spiral punt. And backtracking, fair catching, fielding.
Wow.
Clay Sloan.
I'm not sure who went for the fair catch signal there, but he had some room. Made a good catch over his shoulder.
I'll tell you what, how about the punters in this game tonight? Andrew Rice for Paintsville. Michael McDonald for Pikeville. That has been a key in this low-scoring game, is the ability to flip field position.
Absolutely. We've seen 40, 50-yard kicks, and most of that carrying through the air, not with the benefit of a roll.
And off straight up the middle. Pugh carrying would-be tacklers for a gain of 6 yards.
Now for Paintsville, without big number 15, Cash Daniel looming in the linebacking core, I would doubt if Pikeville gets too fancy. Let's look at the Deskins Motors instant replay where you are approved, and certainly have to approve the fundamentally sound way that 45 carries the football.
Cash Daniel back in there now. We'll check in with Anthony after this play. It's another handoff to Pugh, and Pugh has the first down inside the 35-yard line of the Tigers. Anthony, what do you have for us?
Guys, just an injury update on Cash Daniel for the Paintsville Tigers. All it is no big concerns. He's just cramping up a little bit. He'll be back out for the 4th quarter. Tanner and Jim.
Well, sooner than that, he's out there now with 2:20 remaining here in our 3rd period.
But I still think if you're Pikeville, you understand the situation. Coach is up in the press box relaying the situation to Coach McNamee. I would doubt that Pikeville does anything but hand it to 45.
Hand off to Pugh, looking for a block on the edge from Vanderbeck, and then Vanderbeck comes in to give him an extra little push. Call it a gain of 6. It'll be 2nd and 4.
Wow. I mean, have we seen some hitting, or have we seen some hitting by the defender?
It's almost like watching a college football game out there.
Look at this. Watch Pugh. He's going to get hit 2-3 times by some big bodies, and wham, he keeps going.
Like a pinball going through there.
Man, but you got to love the fundamentally sound way that he carries the football.
On 2nd and 4, this is Cody Charles with his first carry of the evening.
The clock
picks
ticks.
up a couple of yards. It'll be 3rd and around 3 or 4.
The clock ticks down here, Tanner. Minute to play. Pikeville being pretty deliberate here. Sort of like a Mayweather-Pacquiao kind of deal, you know? I mean, these teams do have the knockout punches, but they're not really using them. They're just knocking heads between the tackles in an old-fashioned great football game.
Pugh on 3rd and 3 has the first down.
Yeah.
Well, he's just so good at every aspect of the running game. You see the cutback move there. He's a downhill runner. Knows which hole to pick, which hole is the best option, and he just explodes through it.
Yeah, look at those big guys up front making some blocks, and the quick cutback by Pugh, and he was going to run through some arm tackles. Good blocking point of attack. The big guys, 53 Kyle Martin, 56 Austin Salyer.
They give it back to Pugh, and Derrick. Another first down, sets up 1st and goal for Pikeville.
Until they get behind big number 56, Austin Salyer, and he clears a hole. Great block on Daniel, and you certainly have to block 15 every play. That time a big block by Austin Salyer, 225 junior. It's going to be the last play, I think, of this third quarter, Tanner.
Down to around 10 seconds left. Panthers will come up to the line. May just try to draw him off sides here. And that's what they do. And the clock winds down. So we're all tied at 7 heading to the 4th quarter, but Pikeville on the doorstep, on the verge of taking the lead here in this big rivalry game. The 4th quarter coming up next on this TV and WYMT.com. Start of the 4th quarter, tied at 7 in this big rivalry showdown between Pikeville and Paintsville. Panthers have it 1st and goal at the 7-yard line. And they give it back to Pugh, and Derrick Pugh, a nice seam up the middle, and he's into the end zone for the 2nd time tonight.
Great blocking once again. That's where he scored his first touchdown, and you see the kick out block there. Pugh just gets behind it, and 6 more points for Pikeville.
10th touchdown run of the season for Derrick Pugh, and now Denton Heffington will try to add the extra point for the Panthers. Could prove to be a big point here the way this game is going.
Yeah.
And a penalty marker flies in. And it's offsides against the Tigers. 6-play drive that covers 46 yards. Ends in a 7-yard touchdown scamper by Derrick Pugh, the senior.
Well, we haven't had a score since the 1st quarter. Both teams score a touchdown the first time they get their hands on it, and now Pikeville, I believe, will go for 2, Tanner. Pikeville's going to switch it up and go for 2 here. Pugh's awfully effective here.
They give it to him. Pugh around the edge, and he will careen into the end zone for the extra point, and the Panthers all of a sudden have an 8-point lead here at Paintsville. 5 seconds into our 4th quarter. 6 seconds, excuse me.
See the folks across the way, they make the noise. A lot of smiles on the Panther faithful. Tanner, you mentioned it. Extra points could be critical. After a jump off sides, Paintsville jumps off sides. Coach Chris McNamee decides to go for the 2. I think an excellent play call by Chris McNamee.
Of course, Chris McNamee in his 6th year of the 2nd stint with Pikeville, 51-16. He had another stint before then. Obviously, he is a guy who has a lot of tradition there at Pikeville High School. Played there in the late 80s, was on the state championship team.
Yep.
Went on to play at EKU, where he was all OVC his senior year as a defensive back. Played a little DB and tight end in high school. And they have never had a losing season under him at Pikeville. He is one of the better coaches in the mountains.
Well, does a tremendous job. I was talking with Coach Tirico prior to the game, and he was really bragging on Chris McNamee and the job that he does. could certainly turn that around from Chris McNamee to talk about Coach Chirico. Two fine young men that lead outstanding programs here. And you see across the way, the Pikeville folks are making a lot of noise.
What great fans from both these schools here tonight. How about this atmosphere? Nothing like high school football here in the mountains. Paintsville going to try to respond to that touchdown drive here, and this kickoff's blown dead.
Not sure.
I don't see a penalty marker down.
Could be the old classic do-over, Tanner.
Was the ball off the tee before
someone
it was kicked off?
Perhaps someone jumped off sides. Sort of had the offsides pretty quick, though, if that occurred. Not sure. I'm thinking they assessed 5 yards, didn't they?
Well, it's still on the 40, so.
Oh, okay.
I think maybe the ball came off the tee or our officials just weren't ready. Either way, Kenton Hall will tee that thing back up again. These fans have not grown any more quiet because of it.
Nobody sitting down in the stands.
This time he puts a little more leather on it. It goes out of bounds, so the illegal procedure penalty will give Paintsville good field position to start their third drive of the second half. So far, a couple of 3-and-outs. And you can tell that this Paintsville offense is a little less dynamic without the running back Kent Phelps in the game, who again suffered an injury late in that second quarter on a punt return and has not returned since.
Premium on possessions in this ball game. Only the 6th offensive possession for Paintsville in this game that I have, Tanner, and only their 2nd of the second half. So maybe the best defense, a good offense that keeps the other team off the field.
Daniel handing off. This is Luke Trimble, and he is dropped for a loss of a couple yards. And it looks as though he may be cramping up.
Yeah, you can tell the young men on the team are schooled on what to do when the cramps hit, but just brutally hot this evening, Tanner. I think Anthony and I were talking prior to the game, and we felt like this was the hottest night of the season, okay? We've really caught a break there in August with not that tough humidity, but when the humidity is so brutal like this, you're just going to see guys cramp up. They've put all the effort into this one.
They're working on Luke Trimble, the senior.
Great senior leadership provided by Trimble, trying to get him the ball in space there. He being one of the speed merchants for the Tigers, and you see him sort of writhing in agony there, and just nothing you can do with that. Just got to let it kind of cease to grab.
Just
try to get
Jim, just kind of speaking to the loss of Kent Phelps. I was talking to a Paintsville assistant coach before the game, and I said, do you feel like you have the best player in this game tonight? Of course, referencing Cash Daniel.
Right.
And he says, I feel like we have the best too. And he was talking about Cash and Kent Phelps. Well, now they're down Phelps, and Trimble can't get to the sideline under his own power, as the coaches will help him get a seat. And all of a sudden, that Paintsville running back core is looking a little thin. A lot on Cash Daniel's shoulders here. The running back with him on this play is Alex Spencer, the junior, 5'5", 140. It's 2nd and 12 after the loss of 2. Spencer on the carry, stays on his feet, gets the lost yardage back, plus about 5 more. It'll be 3rd and 5. That was a tough run there by Spencer in a tough situation.
Certainly was, as he broke free and got up around the 40-yard line, brought a little life to this Paintsville crowd. They're sort of sitting back a little bit, waiting for a big play. Gotta love the way that 34, Blake Charles, senior linebacker, has played for Pikeville.
3rd and 5. And our officials stop play It's a timeout called by Paintsville. So the Tigers just with one remaining in these final 10 minutes and 47 seconds. This is a big third down play and 5 yards to go, Jim, because if Pikeville gets the ball back and can score again, it may be good night, Irene.
Yeah, a lot of times they'll run an unbalanced line, and look like some things were going on there. Let's take a closer look, if we could, at the Paintsville head coach, Joe Chirico.
How about the job he's done rebuilding this program now in his third season, 20-7 record. Of course, he was a longtime assistant at Paintsville, a native of Logan, West Virginia, actually played his college ball at Marshall.
There we go. Okay. Member of the Thundering Herd.
Yep. Was an assistant for many, many years before finally taking over the head job a few years ago here at Paintsville. And how about the job he's done building this program? His Tigers in a little bit of a tough spot right now, facing a 3rd and 5, down by 8 points here late in this ball game. They need a big conversion here. Daniel fakes the handoff, keeps it himself. Not going to get there.
Oh, man.
4th and 3. And again on defense, making the stop, the team captain for Pikeville, Cody Charles.
Oh, I tell you, Tanner. And if you just want to see where the football is, we should put a camera on 34 Blake Charles, because he goes for the ball all the time. Looks like Paintsville will kick it away here, Tanner. And
do you like this decision?
Yeah, I think so. I know it's 4th and short, but it doesn't appear as if they're getting a great push on the offensive line now. Coach Chirico feeling like maybe his defense can bottle up Pikeville, maybe turn them over. His punter has been doing a super job, averaging some 40 yards a kick.
And Rice, another good punt here. It's fielded by the always dangerous Chatlin Gerald. Flag down as Gerald reverses field. And Gerald takes the defender down with his face mask, and the Paintsville fans didn't like that at all.
I think it's going to be a block in the back, and they'll probably assess the face mask penalty also. So this is going to push Pikeville back, I believe, from this great field position near the 50-yard line. As we see official Keith Henry come up. Let's take a look at the Deskins Motors instant replay, Tanner. Hustle there by Morris. He couldn't get him, and right there you saw a block. Looked like it was pretty good to me, but the flag came in.
Blake Charles.
Now let's see what Gerald is going to do to Keaton, and you see there Keaton hustling, trying to make the play, and it is going to be a face mask against Pikeville. See how Keith Henry sorts this one out. Would have been great field position for Pikeville.
There's the face mask against Gerald. And there's the block in the back. Well, a break there for Paintsville.
The big blue crew love it. Cheerleaders fired up. They've got the Be Pikeville shirts on, but may not be able to accomplish that feat with Coach Chris McNamee and his guys here.
A nice long scoring drive here by Pikeville may put this game away, but a stop by that Paintsville defense, which has come up with some big stops tonight, would be monumental. And off here, that's Pugh. Not a whole lot of running room. Good first play of the series here for that Tiger defense. It'll be 2nd and 9.
There's my man again, number 30, Christian Keaton, just a freshman. Put him on the watch list for sophomores that are going to be good. What a defender. Just got really good instincts as a linebacker there. He and Blake Charles for Pikeville have been pretty much mirror images as tremendous linebackers.
2nd and 9. They give it back to Pugh, and Derrick can't find a hole. 3rd down coming up. Good tackle by Paintsville's Trent Childers, senior team captain. Brought down Pugh, and it's 3rd down.
Childers fought off the block really well there, able to stop that powerful running back.
Can Paintsville's defense come up with a big stop here, or will that Pikeville defense or offense pick up the 1st down and keep this drive alive? Gerald at the bottom of your screen as Dials
2
and
seconds.
the rest of those Panthers look to the
Should be
sideline
delay
for a
game.
fresh play call, and I think a timeout came in from that Pikeville sideline before the play clock could expire.
Yeah, Coach McNamee gets the timeout just in time. You know, Tanner, we've seen great defense here, right? One of the things we've also seen, fundamentally sound tackling. Both teams. How tremendous that's been. I don't know that I've seen such a display of fundamentally sound defense in a game we've done in mountain football in a long, long time.
I agree with you, and we got 2 more games coming up tomorrow as part of the Appalachian Wireless Games. We need to add an S to that graphic of the week. Knox Central and Southwestern, and then Corbin versus Clay County. Both of those part of the Appalachian Bowl in Manchester tomorrow, starting at 6 o'clock on this TV and WYMT.com.
Looking forward to it. Of course, it's always a great barbecue at the Appalachian Bowl.
They do feed us well. The Clay County Boosters always take care of us.
It is to die for. And so we'll be looking forward to being in Manchester tomorrow. But right now, looking forward to a big 3rd down call. If Pikeville is able to keep the ball away from Paintsville, that's exactly what the doctor orders.
Panthers need to get to their own 35-yard line for a 1st down here. They're 5 yards away. Huge 3rd down play here for both teams. And they give it to Pugh. And Derek Pugh has the 1st down and more. Pugh out across the 40-yard line. It's 1st and 10 for Pikeville.
Going to have to get Coach McNamee to do something with Pugh's helmet, okay, because it keeps flying off. Of course, there's a lot of pretty good licks that cause that helmet to fly off. But young Mr., we're going to have to get him some little help over there, boys. And helmet comes off, so he'll have to come to the sidelines for 1 play.
Do you have any of that Scotch tape left that you, let me use before the game to tape up my rosters here in the press box?
Maybe get some of that, kind of get things going, but.
Every time that Pikeville has needed a big play tonight, and they have asked Derek Pugh to make it, he has responded in a big way. Carry here by Evan Rhodes, and he is thrown backwards for a loss by Dalton Daniels, the sophomore.
Home folks haven't had much to cheer about. Let's watch the Deskins Motors instant replay as the fans approve the way 5 meets 5. Daniels, huge play with the clock ticking down in the 4th quarter. Paintsville marched the ball some 62 yards the first time they had it, and they haven't been close to the end zone since.
Loss of 10 yards on that play. Just a great individual effort by Daniels. Now it's 2nd and 20. Dials looking to throw it, and he completes it. It's Clay Sloan. Gets most of the lost yardage back, and it'll still be 3rd and long, though.
I see Tanner Root coming over there to Clay. Clay thought he had Cash Daniel had gotten him with the face mask. Let's take a look here at our Deskins Motors instant replay. Good throw by Dials, wasn't it, to find the open receiver, zings it in there.
Threaded the needle there.
Yeah, he did, and then Daniel coming over. I don't know that I saw any face mask there.
Panthers have to get to the Paintsville 49-yard line for a 1st down. This is 3rd and 12. Can Pikeville do it again? Dials looking to put it in the air. He's under pressure. Dials scrambling toward the sideline, and he is knocked out of bounds, well short of the 1st down. And Pikeville will be forced to punt.
Look at the homestanding fans. They love it here, and that was a big play. Paintsville comes on a blitz. I think it was a good call by Coach Chirico, forces quarterback Dials out of the pocket. Really, he was just running for his life, not running for the 1st down. So fortunate that he goes out of bounds and stops the clock. So now with 6:23 to play, we'll get our next media timeout after this, but looks like they're going to bring the house here, Tanner.
McDonald to punt. And they almost got to him. It's a bad punt that goes out of bounds at the 37, maybe 38-yard line of Paintsville. Gets us to a media timeout. Tigers have the ball back in front of their home crowd. On the other side of this break, they'll try to drive and tie up the game on this TV and WYMT.com. Paintsville trying to win back-to-back games over Pikeville for the first time in 20 years. Down 8 here, 6:18 to go, 1st and 10. And this is a handoff that's not going for much at all to Alex Spencer. Remember, Paintsville playing right now without normal top of the depth chart running back Kent Phelps, who suffered an injury in the second quarter, has not returned.
Now, we did see number 11, Luke Trimble, back in the lineup.
And that's encouraging to see if you're a Tiger fan.
He's there at the bottom of your screen. Number 11.
2nd and 8. 3 receivers for Cash to go along with a back here. Cash keeps it himself. He wants it all. Down the sideline, and it's incomplete. Good coverage that time by Wyatt Patel as Cash Daniel was trying to hook up with James Allen. And now it's 3rd and 8. Like the decision to try that there?
Absolutely, I do. That sort of moves the defense off them a little bit. Now you might be able to get a little crossing route in front of those DBs. Kind of wonder if this is 4-down territory for Paintsville if they're unsuccessful.
Daniel keeping it himself. Hit at the line of scrimmage. Wow. Stays moving for a couple of yards after contact. Picks up 2, maybe 3 yards. And it's 4th down and about 5 yards coming up here for the Tigers. Decision time for Joe Chirico.
Yeah, he saw the sportsmanship there. These young men playing hard, playing it safe, playing it smooth. And looks like Coach Chirico is going to go for it here. He's talking with Daniel. Wonder if maybe they would at least try a hard count to draw the team perhaps off. Their
play clock down to 10. Maybe they think about taking a delay of game. It's 4th and 4. Daniel fields the bad snap, and he is absolutely demolished. And that Pikeville defense stiffens and forces a turnover on downs and a critical point in this ball game.
Folks across the way love it as they celebrate. This one's not over yet. Saw a great game last evening in college football with Western and Vanderbilt. A lot of the folks from the Western side were celebrating, figuring they had the win, but Vandy came battling back. Inside 5 minutes to play here. Here's what you like about your big running back, number 45, Derek Pugh. The fundamentally sound way that he carries that football and he runs it. There's been guys grabbing at the football all evening long, and they just can't knock it loose.
Bad snap, but somehow Dials collects it and picks up a good gain.
Loose? It came loose.
The ball came out. Who has it? Paintsville. Wow, what a turn of events. Dials fielded the bad snap, got it back, and then fumbled it back to the Tigers, who all of a sudden have new life.
I'm not sure, but my guess is that number 15, Cash Daniel, made another big play. As Dials was coming through the line of scrimmage, Tanner, he was having to hold the football in a tough way. See, he's got his left hand trying to move it to his right. Daniel knocks it free, and the ball is back and recovered back there. But Cash Daniel, he's got like a bullseye on his chest. Still keeps making the big plays.
Tigers from their own 41. Handoff here. And somehow making something out of nothing is Spencer. He was hit at the line of scrimmage and ended up with a gain of 6 yards.
I think Alex Spencer here is showing you that he's a big-time ball player as well. Sort of bending over a little bit there. I don't know, sometimes you take a hard lick maybe on the hand, on the thumb.
Not in this game, a hard lick. We haven't seen that tonight, have we?
Hey, man.
2nd and 4 after that good first down run by Spencer.
I think they could get 34, Spencer to the corner.
They run him again. He's got a first down, and he's into Pikeville territory. How about this turn of events, Jim?
Tremendous.
Looked like Pikeville was about to run out the clock, maybe punch it in for a score to put this game away. And here come the Tigers.
Oh, great blocking point of attack. The seal is up the middle. But the young man who's feeling it right now is 34, Alex Spencer. If they can get him making some big plays here and get an opportunity.
They go back to Spencer. And another pretty good carry. 3, maybe 4 yards, depending on the spot, as our fourth quarter clock ticks down to 3.5 minutes to go. Paintsville has not scored since its first drive of the game. Would have to score a touchdown and then get the 2-point conversion here to tie this game up.
What a great game we've seen. And Tanner, you sort of wonder, with all this hitting going on, are these teams on a collision course for a playoff matchup in November? I'd love to be here.
Still a long time to go in this regular season matchup. Daniel keeps it himself. And Daniel knocks a couple defenders to the ground and picks up 2 yards. 3rd and 5 coming up.
You said a couple. I saw a half a dozen of them laying down there. And his opposite number, Anthony Vanderbrecht, they list him at 5'11", 155. I'm going to get Coach McNamee to weigh that guy again because he brings all 155 to the ballpark.
It's the stoutest 155 we've seen this season, that's for sure.
He brings it all to the ballpark. Big play here.
3rd and 5. Do these Tigers have 9 lives?
Trips to the top.
Now they hand it off. And Spencer stays on his feet. He has the first down. Oh, my goodness. Alex Spencer, the junior, has come out of nowhere to provide a spark for this Paintsville offense.
Did you see him use the left hand to balance himself, push himself back up, and get another 5 yards? Fundamentally sound football. You kind of hate to see anybody lose this game. It's been so spectacular. Look at the Deskins Motors instant replay. We get a great shot here from our guys. Watch him use the left hand to keep himself up. See there? See him use that left hand to keep himself up, and then he drives for another 5 yards.
1st and 10, under 2 minutes. Daniel looking to put it in the air. Got a man out there. It's James Allen. Touchdown, Tigers. And Paintsville is a 2-point conversion away from tying this game up after the 33-yard strike from Cash Daniel to the freshman James Allen. Oh, boy.
Oh, man. Take a look on your Deskins Motors instant replay. The play fake. Daniel looking deep for Allen. Beating Gerald to the pylon. Touchdown, Tigers. And now you're forced to go for 2 here. Cash Daniel and his guys. Boy, don't you love the smooth, calm way that Daniel takes control of the huddle.
That was one heck of a delivery, laying that ball in there. Allen, the terrific catch over the shoulder for the touchdown.
Cash Daniel, Scott and Leela's baby boy. Will he call his own number here? Pikeville going to use their last time out?
Well,
I think so.
According to the scoreboard, Pikeville had 2 left. They're going to say Paintsville takes the timeout here. Probably a smart move by Joe Chirico to get the right play call here, as this could be the ball game. For all intents and purposes, it is the ball game. I mean, even if Paintsville didn't get it, you've still got the onside kick. They could recover, and then you could force a 3 and out and get the ball back with a few seconds remaining.
But you really don't have the timeouts to do that. This one is one that perhaps you've maybe worked on. You've got it in your pocket. You haven't used it all year long. And you think you can do something here and get it to the end zone. Of course, we've seen number 1, Kent Phelps, top running back for Paintsville, go out due to injury. He's over on the sidelines cheering on his guys. I've never been a huge fan inside the 5-yard line of going to the shotgun, so I like what Coach Chirico is doing here. He's going with Daniel under center.
Jonathan Lemaster, a big lineman, in the back, and instead Daniel keeps it around the edge. He's in, and we're tied at 15. How about that diversion? They had Pikeville thinking they were going to hand it off to Lemaster. Instead, Daniel scoots around the edge. There is a penalty marker down on the play.
Watch this reverse pivot here. Beautiful play. This is one Coach Chirico's had in his pocket. I believe you're just going to get a face mask there against Pikeville. It will be refused. If Paintsville hadn't have made it, they would have gotten another chance. But number 15 there, Cash Daniel, Scott and Leela's baby boy makes some big plays late in the fourth quarter. Could we be in store for overtime here?
That was a 6-play drive that spanned 59 yards, ended on a 33-yard touchdown pass from Cash Daniel to James Allen. And let's not understate the effort on that drive of junior running back Alex Spencer. Picked up a couple first downs, ran the ball really well for an offense that was struggling without the injured Kent Phelps. And all of a sudden, Jimmy, we have ourselves an instant classic.
We certainly do. You see Coach Jericho, you know what he's telling these guys? That Pikeville has a tremendous special teams opportunity here. Gerald is back there. He can make you miss. And right now, if you're Pikeville, you're one to get the ball in the hands of number 1, Chatlin Gerald, and see what he can do in space. I guess, are we saying that the penalty took effect? I guess they'll assess the penalty
on the
here
kickoff.
On the kickoff.
So that's a big call.
You've got a chance for an onside kick here that's only going to go to the 35-yard line.
Or you can try to pin them deep. Pin them deep, force a 3 and out, get the ball back.
Yeah, you could. You know, I tell you, with the 15 extra yards, Coach Jericho may just tell his guy to boom it. We've seen Pikeville, they do such a tremendous job on kickoffs. Their guys have the leg to get it to the end zone from 60 yards away. Wouldn't be the worst choice, I guess, to go ahead and just try to hammer this thing through the end zone. Kentucky high school football, if the ball goes to the end zone, you cannot run it out.
Every fan here at Memorial Field on their feet. Chatlin Gerald back deep for Pikeville. They do kick it short. And it's fielded. This is Cody Charles. Tackled at about the 25-yard line. So that Paintsville special teams unit does its job and leaves the Panthers with a $1:43 to work with. 2 timeouts still remaining for Pikeville. As hobbling to the sideline goes Charles. He's played well tonight on both sides of the ball. You hate to see him get injured late in a game like this.
Boy, let's hope it's just a cramp.
Right.
Let's hope it's just a cramp.
If you're Chris McNamee, what are you dialing up here?
Personally, I think you try a pass, see if Gerald can get somebody free. That's what they'll do here.
And the pass is caught. Minimal gain. Anthony Vanderbeck, the senior, with the reception. Vanderbeck, who has played extremely well on the defensive side of the ball, comes up with the catch for 4 yards there at 2nd and 6 and the clock running. Dials handing off here to Pugh, trying to reverse field. Now he's trying to bounce it to the outside, but he is going to be wrapped up and dropped. Good pursuit by Dalton Daniels, who got him on the leg, by the legs, and then waited for help to get him to the ground. And that play will get us down to the minute mark here in the fourth quarter. 3rd down here for the Panthers. 3rd and 2.
25-second clock is just now starting, Tanner. I gotta believe that Pikeville will take this one all the way down. You certainly don't want to turn the ball over here. They'll go quickly.
They give it to Pugh, and Derek Pugh brought down very close to the 1st down marker. That will stop the clock, as we will either get a measurement or they will move the chains. 1st down, says referee.
Yeah, Keith Henry there.
Keith Henry.
Tremendous crowd involvement this evening, hadn't it been, Tanner? I mean, this has been tremendous, as good as high school football gets. They've been playing games here at Memorial Stadium since the era just past World War II. A lot of great players, a lot of great teams, a lot of great moments, and we've seen one here this evening.
And how about this crowd on its feet?
Tremendous.
They've been electric from kickoff until this point now, with 35 seconds left to go in regulation. A 1st down for Pikeville coming out of this timeout. Panthers still have 1 timeout in the holster that they can use. So this game far from even going to overtime. And keep in mind, Pikeville has a very good kicker in Denton Heffington.
Yeah.
He has not kicked a field goal this year, but he is 9 for 9 on extra points.
And Tanner, that's a great point. You know, I was sort of thinking here that maybe you just chew up these 35 and go to overtime. But you're exactly right. If they could hit a big pass here, and let's face it, you try a 30, 40-yard pass here, it's the same as a punt if it's intercepted. So you may see Coach McNamee, he knows Dials has a big arm.
Dials throwing back to Gerald, and it's through his hands, incomplete. If Gerald makes that catch, he had a couple blockers waiting on him.
Just, you see Chandler there, the head drop. He just turned his eyes briefly before the ball got there. And it's always difficult, Tanner, in pads to catch the ball that's directly over top of your head. It's just difficult to get the hands up there because of the pads. Restricts your ability there for the range of motion. And Gerald taking his eyes off of it. Incomplete. Stops the clock.
2nd and 10. Now they'll go back to the ground here. Derek Pugh, he's met by Cash Daniel and a couple other Tigers.
Ball came loose.
The ball is out. The Tigers have it. Unbelievable.
Daniel just knocked it away.
Second time tonight, Cash Daniel has caused a fumble. It was recovered by Darren Morris. His first fumble recovery of the season. These Tigers have 9 lives, Jim.
Yeah, they've got 9 lives, and they've got a guy who's going to be playing linebacker for UK here in a couple years. And Daniel, as cool as anybody in the ballpark, he's got a big arm, Tanner. And you wonder if maybe they run trips to one side and try and get something up there. Let somebody go get it.
Paintsville is out of timeouts. 21 seconds remaining in regulation. Daniel, of course, had the 33-yard touchdown pass to Allen on the possession before. He's going to air it out here. The big lefty going deep down the sideline. Grace trying to make the catch. It's incomplete.
Flag.
But a flag came in.
There was pass interference, Tanner, in the last seconds, and ball goes free. Great shot by our guys, but this could be an opportunity for a field goal here. That ball will be placed on, it'll be a 15-yard assessment. It's not at the point of infraction. So I'm going to guess that they'll have the ball somewhere inside the 20-yard line. Would be a kick of some 37, 38 yards as we are right here. It's not a spot foul in Kentucky high school football.
Unbelievable how fumbles have cost Pikeville in big moments in this game. That's 2 straight drives that have been derailed by a fumble by the Panthers. Paintsville capitalized and scored a touchdown and a 2-point conversion off the last one. We'll see what the Tigers do here.
This one has to go out of bounds or for the touchdown, Tanner. Otherwise, clock will run out.
Daniel, plenty of time over the middle. It is nearly intercepted. It hit Blake Charles right in the hands. Anthony Vanderbeck had a shot at it too, and our clock will stop with 11 seconds remaining in regulation. 2nd and 10 coming up for Paintsville.
And you know, Tanner, you talked about Pikeville certainly has the field goal kicker that could put it through from here, but it would be nearly 38 yards. Not much of a wind to speak of. 11 seconds. It has to go to the end zone. Something short, you're going to have a tackle. Clock will run out.
Daniel. Pass incomplete. He underthrew Richard Grace. Clock stops, 8 seconds left. 3rd down coming up.
I think Daniel just looked there, realized that he didn't have a chance, and just sort of threw it away.
How about the instant classic we're seeing before our eyes here at Memorial Field? Number 10 Paintsville in the Mountain Top 10. Pikeville number 9 in the Mountain Top 10.
They're both moving up.
Pikeville number 2 in the Class A State AP poll. Paintsville number 3.
Got to throw it to the end zone.
A clash of the Class A Titans. 8 seconds left. It's 3rd down. The fans here, they're nervous.
Trips to the near side.
And a Penalty
Flag.
marker comes in. This could be a delay of game or an illegal substitution of some kind. Oh, and a big penalty there against Paintsville. That's going to back them up 5 yards. 6th penalty of the game against the Tigers comes at a bad time for them.
They're going to have to toss this one to the end zone, and I'm not sure the officials will talk here. I guess they'll reset the clock.
Maybe to 8 seconds. Or they'll keep it at 7.
Okay.
Likely the final play of the game here.
Got to put this one up in the air and just do the old alley-oop. Y tilde R.C. Owens in the late 50s. And I haven't started the play clock yet.
Our referee, Keith Henry, I think he's
7.2.
Yeah, I think he's trying to put a little time back up here on the clock. Right now it stands at 7.6. Of course, you can't see the tenths of a second on our scoreboard there on your screen. But the scoreboard here at Memorial Field showing 7.6 as you see some of the players over there on that Paintsville sideline, and you see Kent Phelps out of uniform. He'd love to be out there to try to help his team right here as they are 25 yards away from a victory. One of the biggest victories probably here in Paintsville in a long time if they can pull it off. The youngsters are nervous as well.
Everybody's excited. Everybody's standing, and I think they were going to put maybe 8.2 up on the clock.
Yeah, the clock keeper over here trying to figure that out, get that taken care of before we can.
He's hitting buttons, but nothing's happening. That's kind of like me. Okay. They've got it at 8.0. It should be, I believe, 8.2 they're looking for. That could mean a lot here. You've got a 3rd down call. If this play only eats up 5-6 seconds, you'd have another shot. But it has to go to the end zone, in my opinion. The pass short would run the clock out. And maybe some extra football here for us.
Hey, bonus football, we'll take that. 2 great teams here. Of course, a lot of people consider these teams the 2 of the best in the state in Class A. And speaking of bonus football, an extra Appalachian Wireless Games of the Week on tap for you tomorrow as part of the Appalachian Bowl. Knox Central and Southwestern, followed by Corbin and Clay County. Getting underway at 6 o'clock, and we're ready to go. They have 8 seconds on the clock. Paintsville is 25 yards away from back-to-back victories over Pikeville for the first time in 20 years. Cash Daniel, the big lefty, throwing it up deep to the end zone, and it's nearly caught. There's still time on the clock as Luke Trimble nearly came away with the one-handed catch that would have won the game for the Tigers. But they're going to get one final heave to the end zone here. 2.6 seconds showing. It's 4th and 15, but the fact that it's 4th down does not matter here, as Cash Daniel and company will get one last crack at Pikeville before we go to overtime.
Of course, both of the fellas battling for the football in the end zone have had cramps and had to come out. Trimble, as well as 33 Cody Charles, having to be kind of helped off the field in this 4th quarter. They battle for the football, falls incomplete.
Paintsville 25 yards away from the biggest win in the Joe Chirico era. Cash Daniel going to try to run for it, and Cash stays on his feet, diving for the pylon. Did he get there? No signal yet.
I don't think he got there.
I think they're going to say he stepped out of bounds.
What an effort, and the clock has run out.
Cash Daniel choosing not to throw it, not to take a shot at the end zone, trying to do it with his legs. And he comes up short. And we go to overtime. Pikeville 15, Paintsville 15. The Appalachian Wireless Game of the Week. Watch the replay here, Jim.
Tanner, we're going to see here Daniel looking. Everybody's to the near side. He decides to tuck it under. And you see there, as who wouldn't it be, 34? That would be Charles trying to make the play. Not sure, was that Gerald or perhaps Clay Sloan that came over and knocked him out of bounds before he could reach to get to the pylon.
Paintsville scores late in the fourth quarter, ties it up on a 2-point conversion, and now we're here in overtime. First play of overtime is a pitch to Derek Pugh, looking for a block on the corner, doesn't get one, and it's second down. This is where, if you're a player, you're running on fumes here, you really have to reach within yourself to come up with an extra something special if you want your team to win the game.
No question, Tanner, and that's those big guys up front as their attention is drawn to the coaching staff as they design the plays. They love running wide with 45.
Second and goal on the first series of overtime. Up the middle, it's Pugh. Tackled inside the 5, about the 4, maybe 3-yard line. It'll be third and goal.
Good blocking point of attack. Good surge there for Pikeville. And now, Tanner, if you score the touchdown, do you go for 2 or do you kick the extra point?
Well, with the Panthers' inability to hold on to the football as of late, I think you have to worry about scoring the touchdown first before you even think about that. They have it spotted at the 2. Third and goal. Pugh again up the middle. He's into the end zone, and Pikeville scores on the first possession of overtime, and now it's decision time for Chris McNamee.
Really is a big decision. Let's recall how Pikeville got to 15 points and made it 15-7. They'd gotten up 13-7 with the big Pugh touchdown. And then, Tanner, Paintsville jumped off sides. Chris McNamee decided to go for 2. Turned out to be a pretty good choice because he needed those extra points as they were successful to tie this game.
I'll go for the 1 here.
I think that's a good decision.
Denton Heffington, normally very sure-footed, boots this one, and it is good. And Pikeville up by 7 with Paintsville about to have its first possession of overtime. Heffington now on the season 12 for 12 on extra points.
You know, you just got to applaud the effort of the coaches and the players in this game. Tremendous, tremendous effort. I think it's setting up for a 2-point conversion for the win, to be honest with you, the way I was seeing it. I think Pikeville's going to have a tough time keeping number 15 out of the end zone.
Again, Paintsville doing all of this without starting running back Kent Phelps, who went down in the second quarter with an injury while returning a punt. He's not returned to the lineup. These gutsy Tigers have fought their way back. They're down 7 here, taking their first possession in overtime.
Coaching staff has to be thinking, Tanner, not only about this succession of plays, but what would we do on a 2-point conversion attempt?
Empty backfield and 5 receivers for the big left-handed quarterback, Cash Daniel. The UK commit runs it straight up the middle. Daniel plunges down inside the 5-yard line. A very good gain on first down here in overtime for the Tigers.
Saw big number 59, Logan Coleman's helmet flies off. Your helmet flies off when you get hit by this guy and a number of these players. Daniel just takes it, uses a lot of determination there, and those big guys up front, they spend a lot of time in the weight room. Hard to tackle number 15 inside the 5.
Same formation on second down, and again it's Daniel straight up the middle, leaping, staying on his feet. Cash! Touchdown, Paintsville! 1 point to force a second overtime and 2 for the win. What will Joe Chirico decide to do here?
Gotta believe they're going for 2 here. Might see Paintsville use a timeout here. They are. They're going to use you. Get an extra timeout. And just a tremendous, tremendous game, Tanner. I've seen a lot of high school football, and this one had a lot of moxie. As it turns out, for number 15 there, Cash Daniel, he and I paths crossed for the first time when he was about 5 years old. So I haven't had the chance to actually see a young man play live. Seen a lot of tape. What a heart. What a heart. Big time player. Basically on the overtime there. They just lined him up. And watch this second effort here, Tanner, on the Deskins Motors instant replay. He dives and then keeps going. The pile actually kept him up. Last lunge, 22-21. The big guys up front are clapping their hands. They're pretty fired up. Paintsville was in full pads an hour and a half before this one began. They came out and warmed up for a good 25-30 minutes in the tremendous heat. Fans going wild with the call. Mr. Tanner Hesterberg.
It all comes down to this. Empty backfield for Cash Daniel, the big lefty, and UK commit looking for the end zone, trying to get there. Cash is in! These Tigers do have 9 lives, and they're the kings of Class A tonight.